Welcome to Bloom and Stitch by AnnMarie. I'm doing my watering of my plants this morning. Meanwhile, my daughter is staring at me. She like, I'm not used to this shit. So this is a new one for her. She like, yeah, right? She's laughing at me, guys. But listen, when the glow up comes, anyway, I've had my first cup of coffee. I'm still in between sleep, but I have to.
You're so nice. Well,
I
well.
love you. Have a great day, baby. That's my daughter. So, so it's early. I have to do the watering of my plants before I log in for work. So, come with me while I water my plants before working from home. I told you before, I'm doing everything on my cell phone. I don't have a camera, and that means that I'm having to finagle my cell phone a lot, but I'm going to show you as much as I can. Um, I've been growing plants inside for a while, but I don't have a lot of the machinery that a lot of people do. I just know I love plants and I'm doing what I can. I'm by no means a plant professional. I will depend on you guys who are watching to give me a lot of feedback with regards to what I can do to make my plants a little bit better. So let me show you. Bottom feed my plants the irisines. This morning I came out and she was bowing, which indicates to me that she needs some water, but something else is going on because she's shedding leaves. She's looking not very happy. You understand? And I just repotted her this past week, so that might be a little bit of shock that she's going through. But she does have some little babies on her leaves. um I have logo fertilizer in there, and then when I'm doing my potting mix, I do put in perlite. I put in some fertilizers and dirt specifically for for these mixtures. Anyway, let's go ahead and show you what I my setup. I usually have these containers because a lot of the plants I do bottom watering. I live in an apartment. I don't want to have the flies. So because of that, I'll take them out. Like for example, my spider plant. I'm working with one hand here and I'll just pop it down, but I don't let it stay for too long. Do you know what I mean? But there are some plants that I will water, top water, for example, this philodendron. I give her a little bit of top watering. And if you notice, some of them have these thicker sticks. This is covered with dirt, so I'm gonna have to replace it. It helps to get rid of the flies. Focus. She has one of the sticker sticks because she's a top watering girl. I don't have to put a lot in her because I did I did give her some this weekend. Um, Philodendron, bottom watering. That's what I do. I just go around the ones that are set in trays. I bottom water them. Like my aloe veras, I don't do it often because they don't need to be watered often. I water them like once per month. My ZZ got last week, so my ZZ doesn't need. My Monstera is a top watering girly, so I give her a little bit. She has sticky sticks in there as well. Give her extra because she has these potases in there, and the potases they share a little space with her. If you can tell me what kind of potas these are, I'll tell you if you're right. No, these are top watered. I just give them a little bit. They don't need a lot. I'm going to have to refill to top water this one, and my syngoniums. that has been growing quite a lot. No, I just put her in there and look. What the water will do is to just crawl up. It will the roots will find the water down there and crawl up. But I don't put it back in the container immediately. I put her on here for her to drain and I leave her be. Right? Um I'm gonna refill this pot. Now I've had water sitting out since last night. I sometimes buy the distilled water from the supermarket, but that's too expensive because I have to buy 6 or 7 distilled water to water all my plants. However, because that's gotten too expensive, I did leave out some water for them to, for the chlorine to get out of last night, but that's not enough. I should have left out enough for my plants this morning. If you notice there are plants in the ceiling, I'm going to take them down one by one and I'm going to water them. And they're bottom water too. This is my Manjula Pothos. She's a beauty. I just plop her down in the water there. Once I take them down, I will just gauge how, if they're heavy or if they're light, the feel of them to see whether or not they need water. And I also take this time to look at them to make sure that there are no spider mites, no trips if they need to be treated with my special plant juice. That's my Manjula Pothos. And she's getting the water that she needs. See? Beautiful, beautiful girl. Meanwhile, this one is being drained. She's completely drained out. No, there's still some water left. I tend to slide it to the side to make a little bit of the water drain out before putting them in their container right there. That's where she is. Now, my spider plants, they love a lot of sunlight, indirect sunlight, that is. So I leave them in this area. Surprisingly, over here, even though it's closer to the window and it's snowing outside, it's still warm because there is a vent there. And if it gets extra cold, I turn on this heater. But because everybody is close together, it's humid, it's beautiful, it's warm for them. So they have no issues at all, none at all. Now, while she is sitting in the water and getting her nutrients, I'm going to give top watering to my birds of paradise. A little bit more. That's my bird of paradise. I've had her for maybe about 3 years. This is my rubber plant. I can't I can't bottom water, so I put in the leca balls at the top to prevent the flies, the flies that will come to penetrate the soil. And I give her enough to keep her. This one is always thirsty, so oh my god, she loves her water. I finished the water in here. I'm going to refill. Once a month, I'll take the ones that are hanging, the extra big ones, and I'll wash them in my bathroom. Wash them, give them extra water, but not this week. I won't do it this week because I'm already running late to log in for work. I still have to do my toiletries. So maybe next week I do that, and next week I'm going to fertilize the ones that don't have the slow release fertilizer. I'm going to fertilize them, but for this week I'm just making sure that they have water and that they're okay. This is the only one that this pothos, this golden pothos, is the only one that's on a moss pole. Um, Usually when I bring it into the bathroom, I just wet the moss pole, or I have a bottle of water that I used to wet this moss pole. That's not gonna work. I'll use a bottle of water for her. But she is going on good on the moss pole. I'm gonna twine her around a little bit. Oh, she's not ready yet to twine around, so we just leave her alone. Okay. All these have to be bottom watered. All of these have to be bottom watered. And those that are in the hanging basket, hey Summer, hey girl, all those in the hanging basket have to be bottom watered. So we go back to Miss Manjula Pothos. Now when I lift her out, she's much heavier than she was before. And that tells me that she has water in her, but I'm not going to hang her up. I'm going to just put her in one of those bottom containers so she could drip the extra water that she doesn't need before I hang her up. I'm going to also take my lipstick plant. My lipstick plant has been fantastic. She's been growing new babies. And I'll put her in here, but it needs additional watering for the bottom watering. She's in there. Okay. She's not gonna suck up all of that, but I just make sure that she's in there. I leave her in there for maybe 3 to 5 minutes, and she takes what she needs before me hanging her up. And look at the beauty. I did put some slow release fertilizers in her, so she's perfectly beautiful. They need fertilizers when they're pushing out these um these extra babies. They need that fertilizer. Now that Miss Manjula has drip dried, I'm going to put her up where she was before, where she gets direct sunlight. There's a little bit of dirt on the pot for Miss Manjula, so I'm going to wipe it off. Because of course, even though it doesn't bother her, it does bother me. I like when my household is clean, and also my pots as well. All right. Um, Miss Lipstick is still going on. Um, the next one is this lady that I repotted. She's my Enjoy Pothos. I just repotted her this weekend because she was suffering a lot. I wondered why she was suffering. She was throwing out a lot of brown leaves, um, like here, right? She was throwing out a lot of brown leaves. And then when I look, I noticed that her roots were overgrowing the container. So I repotted her, gave her new dirt and all of that. And um she's not showing out as much as before, but I noticed a couple of new leaves, and so I'm going to get my scissors and I'm going to clip those new leaves, those new brown leaves from off of her. So I have a clean scissors that was disinfected, and I'm going to snip the brown leaves off and look for any leaves that need to go. Some of them that have a little bit of brown don't need to come off right away, so you leave it. And remember, our plants they're imperfect. You understand? They're perfectly imperfect. They're beautiful as they are. So you will expect a little bit of brown on them, and that's perfectly okay. However, if you notice that your plants have a lot of brown on them, you've got to look on the underside to see if you have spider mites, if you have thrips, if it's eating away at your plant. You've got to look carefully, as sometimes your natural eye won't be able to see it at that time. Then what you do is to go ahead and give it a little treatment with your sexy plant juice. Sexy plant juice, my friend on, she's on Instagram, on TikTok, Blossom, I believe her name is. She has been able to just educate me a lot on neem oil, on peppermint castile soap with a little bit of alcohol and a little water, and you mix it together and you spray your beautiful babies. That usually helps me. I haven't had a breakout in a while. So, all right, so it's time for Miss Enjoy Pothos to get her water. While Miss Enjoy is doing her thing, I'm going to take down the Jade Pothos and examine her a bit. I noticed that some of her leaves, they were yellowing. Um, Maybe she needs some water because she feels a little bit light. But if you notice, they're yellowing on this leaf. There's a yellow leaf completely yellowed in here. That's showing some distress in there. I'm going to cut them off. I'm going to water her, but I'm also going to watch her to see what's happening. Look at my hands and look at the leaf. Huge. You know what I'm going to do with her? I'm going to wash her down in my bathroom. I'm going to give her a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful shower in my bathroom while Miss Enjoy is doing her thing. And then I'll bring her back. And I'm going to bring Miss Skindapsis along with me as well. Miss Skindapsis deserves to get some water in as well. So let me do that and come back. Or maybe I'll bring you with me. Even the baby ones. Even the baby ones. Look at that. I don't know what's happening with her, but I'm definitely watching her. She's telling me something is wrong and I need to just pay attention. Anyway, Miss Michaels has gotten her fill. This is her. No. The closer she is to light, is the more she'll get a little bit red. But that's stressing her out a little bit. I don't want her to be stressed out, so I'm gonna put her a little ways back from the grow light that is there. Oh, she needs to drip dry out. I mean, she needs to drip out. Okay, so I put her a little ways back from her usual position. Okay, I have a baldy. She's my bald-headed baby. When I tell you not every plant in my home is perfect, this one is, but she's perfect to me. I had her on a moss pole, and I went ahead and repotted her because I'm disliking moss poles nowadays. That was a fad for the entire summer 2025, and for me, it just doesn't work out. I don't like moss poles anymore. I have one with the golden pothos on it. Even that I'm disliking. Yeah. So she is a little baldy, and I'm watching her to see what's going on with her. I sprayed her down with some sexy plant juice, and we hope that will help. And don't be afraid to cut leaves, guys. Don't be afraid to cut leaves, because sometimes those leaves that are the issues, they'll have pests on them. Pothos. I just also recently took her off a moss pole. I'll show you some of the roots that was going into the moss pole. Here are some of the roots. I'm gonna let them stay, but I took her off a moss pole and just hung her. I needed a space. So I did that. Working from home gives me a lot of flexibility. It means I can get up and care for my plants. I'm using the alcohol, 70% isopropyl alcohol on my bald-headed lady here, because she's plant, because I've noticed a little bit of white spotting on the back of her. So I'm going to spray her down. I didn't use the sexy plant juice. I didn't want to go so extra. So I'm spraying her down with my alcohol, and then just putting her far away from the grow lights. Well, she's near to the grow lights, but I'm liking my work from home job because it's flexible. And if I log in late, it just means I have to make up for the time and make sure I'm working late as well. Let me show you what I'm seeing behind it. Look at that. That's possibly spider mites that I didn't see when I was repotting her last weekend, or it could be thrips. I'm not seeing it properly, so I'm spraying her down. I'm taking no chances. Especially the underleaves of the plant. You spray it, and you don't put it in the same water. You don't put your other plants in the same water that it was in, that it was being watered in. I'm gonna change that container, wash it out before I put my neon pothos in that water, because I'm taking no chances. Now I know a lot of people, they don't water their plants on a schedule. That's them. I have to do it because I have other things at home to do, so I have to have a schedule when I'm watering my plants. Now, I made these ladies out of white styrofoam heads that I got from the dollar store. I bought the styrofoam heads for $1.25. I digged out the middle and I put the baby tears in it under perforated plastics, and I got some scarves and tied it with, these are my earrings, these are my lashes, and I painted it brown. I had to do it three or four different layers of brown paint. I should have used a different paint, but that's okay. It achieved what I wanted it to achieve. However, the baby tears, they're not growing as much as I wanted them to at the top. They were growing fine before, but no, not so much. So I put new dirt, new earth on here and slowly release fertilizers. And I noticed that some of them are actually growing into the new dirt that is there. So we'll watch it and see. If it doesn't work, then I'm going to have to dig out the entire thing and redo it, in which case I might do another DIY video for you guys. All right. Also repotted my Philodendron Birkin recently, and so she gets bottom watering often. My lady looks amazing. All right, so let's find a place for her to go back to where she was before. Maybe you need to move closer. Just a little bit closer, baby. 'Cause my love keeps growing stronger. Fire is another one that I'm definitely having some issues with, but we'll see what happens with her. All you can do is to keep working on them. They take patience, time, and love. Okay. Remember the two rubber plants I showed you before? I'm having to bed. This is my variegated rubber plant. Let me fix my camera. This is my variegated rubber plant, and I have a two normal rubber plants around there. And you see she pushed out a new baby, and she's looking to push out another one. So I gave her some slow release fertilizer. Key thing with your plants is that when they're blooming, especially when it's coming out to the spring, you give them fertilizers because they need that extra oomph to, you know, to let them grow more. All right? Yeah. My ring of fire. Notice where I let the water run up to, and it's running off a little bit. The roots will go down and dig for the water. Okay. I love Hoyas. I have a variegated Hoya here. I have another one here. Another Pothos. Now I have 3 containers going with watering, which means everything should go much quickly from here on out. Look, as soon as I put it in, she has watering at the bottom, and there's her roots. She'll go down and she'll grab onto the water that's there. That's the idea. You want the roots to grow, so you don't fill it up with water. You just give it the water down there, and it will grow down and grab onto. They will grab onto the water that's down there. They'll search for the water. It's the same thing with alocasias. Oh my word, this one is a pain. This one is, it's a philodendron that I was trying to do semi-hydro in, and she's taking such a long time to do her thing, but she has nice roots growing. Look in there. You're seeing, can you see those roots? Yes. She doesn't need to change. She's okay. All the ones that I have in leca, they are perfectly fine. I won't give them anything until next week. Oh my God. I hope you guys were hearing it. I won't give her anything until next week. Was I talking? Was this mic? Oh my God. Anyway, I won't give her anything until next week. I've ordered fertilizers for my alocasias, and I don't believe they need to be topped up this week. That's the easy thing about semi-hydro with plants in leca. You don't have to pay them too much attention. They're okay. They just need to top up, and they need to be fertilized because they're greedy so's and so's. All right. See this one? Look at the roots. And she has roots going down here. So that's the amount of water that she gets. I like to put each one of them in containers. That way the roots get the humidity that they need and they grow strong. Come on, lady. Do your thing. Look at this beauty. Look at her. And look at her cousin. And I have the uncle over here. I'm doing my aglaonemas. Just checking to see whether or not I should repot them. Anytime I see them going out at the bottom of the containers, then I try to repot them. Look at her. That's where the water is. Another set of Chinese evergreens. I have to change this container for her because there are some roots coming out of the plant. So next week when I'm doing repotting, I'll do a video on repotting her. No, I don't need to water my baby too often. I don't need to water her too often. I gave her a water last week where I dunked her and I sprayed her down with sexy plant juice because she's very susceptible to spider mites. So she's not going to be watered today. At one point I thought my Enjoy was going to die because it was acting up before I repotted it, and so I propagated her and I put her, here's a container I put her in, and this is her baby. She needs some water this morning. And I know a lot of people, they have specialized water, they condition their water, all of that. That's good for them. I never had to do that. See, this is where the water reaches. Yeah. When you're watering your plants, get ready for them to wet the place a little bit. That's okay, it's water, it will dry. You can just water it around. Wipe it around. It's okay. There's some dirt underneath this lady. I'm gonna wash off her leaves and then I'm gonna bottom water her. I'll be right back. Something I noticed with Enjoy, they don't like to get their leaves wet. So when I'm misting my plants, and yes, I do mist dramatically my plants. When I'm misting my plants, I don't mist M-I-S-T, the Enjoys, because they don't like their their leaves to be wet too much. It's the same with the marble pothos. The golden pothos, she loves a good mist, but the marble does not love her leaves to be wet for too often. This is the marble pothos. I have some of her underneath my monstera, and I miss my monstera often, but I try not to catch the marble pothos. Yeah. Now that my anthurium is has been washed and she's watered, I'm putting her back in. Now listen, Miss Anthurium she has in fact traumatized me quite a lot, because I got her and I put her in, not this one, I put a piece of her into leca, and she gave up the ghost. So with that being said, this anthurium, I'm leaving her in soil, and I am just going to be gentle with her. She's a beautiful, beautiful girl. I am just going to be gentle with her. Okay? I need to tell you, I may need to sing a song and send this lady back home. She's a pink calathea. Not calathea. Oh my God. I keep forgetting the name. It's morning time. Give me grace. I have a beautiful one going around the other side, and I made the mistake of potting her with that lady, and she has suffered. So I'm trying to bring her back, but she is not fighting. She's giving up the ghost, but I'm going to keep fighting. I am not giving up. I've repotted her. I've cut off the leaves that are going awire, and I am not giving up on Miss Lady, not at all. But I'm going to cut off the leaves that are not they're not behaving. When your plant has leaves that are not behaving, cut it off. They're utilizing too much energy when they're going downhill. So the energy that they have, they need to put it towards pushing out new plants. Cut it off and let it go. Let it go. Now I'm taking a chance and I'm top watering these hanging plants today, because there's no way I'm taking them out of the basket. I am not. I'm sorry. Look at them. My philodendron, my heartleaf philodendron. And believe it or not, this is a marble pothos, but I don't know what's happening over here. She looks like a jade over here, right? But this is a marble. It is actually a marble pothos, but girl, when I tell you I don't know what's going on with those leaves. And again, another Oya that's been stretching. My white princess philodendrons, beautiful. Let's give her some water. Thank you, Nicholas, for bringing out Summer. Thank you. Oh, you need your treat, Summer? All right. This is my black ZZ. Beautiful, ain't she? But she needs to be repotted. She's been in there for a while, so she needs to be repotted. You need your treat? Need a treat? Summer needs her treat. Let me go get her treat for her. Honestly, it's been a problem. Anyway, this one has given up the ghost so many times. She had only one piece of leaf, and I just put her in a corner and leave her. She loves to be ignored, so we just give her, and she's very particular. She loves what do you call it, the distilled water. She doesn't like to be top watered. She wants to stay at one place. If you move her, she will give up the ghost. She has died at least 5 times. So I ignore her. She doesn't love to be loved. I ignore the shit out of her. And sometimes I give her normal water, because who is she playing with? I give her what I can give her. That's where she'll stay and be ignored for the rest of the week. Also, this oxalis that is about to give up its breath, and this one that has died, but because it's supposed to have what do you call it, oh god, you know what it names, the root of it is still there. It looks like it's still living because of these. I cut them off, so I leave it and see if, you know, if they'll give me some signs of life. Along with string of turtles. Me and string of turtles is not any friends, but that's where they are. Plus my philodendron girl and these two cane plants. They stay right here because all of them problem child is in my bedroom. So I'm back into one of my silly crochet hats. Anyway, thank you so much for staying with me and watching me water my plants this morning. I'm logged into work, so I'm going to take my leave. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, and wait for another video. One will be dropping tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.